ever seen National Lampoons Christmas Vacation? You ever seen National Lampoons Christmas Vacation?
Okay, here we are. Welcome back, everyone, to Wolfgang Music and Video, our very first holiday edition, I guess you could say, just to try and be somewhat politically correct. Because I don't want to deal with any of those bullshit fucking Facebook messages. I hate you because you didn't agree with how I live. But anyways, we're going to be talking about the legendary National Lampoons Christmas Vacation. It was released on December 1st, 1989, and directed by Jeremiah Chiswick. Is that how it was?
Yeah, that's how I would say it.
Yeah. But more importantly, it was written by John Hughes, and it was actually based off of the second short story that was in the National Lampoons magazine. I guess that was like a magazine in like the late 70s, early 80s, which is how it got its like branding, I guess. And actually the first short story was actually how they came up with the basis for National Lampoon's Vacation, the first one where they go to Wally World. So I thought that was kind of a cool little fact. And turns out that this was Jeremiah Chiswick's, I don't know,
it's hard to
probably
say.
pronounced that wrong, but this was actually his directorial debut. Before he did this movie, he actually did music videos very much like Mary Lambert that I mentioned in the Pet Cemetery review. He did music videos for, I know he did one for Hall & Oates, and then also for Van Halen. And then he did another one for Van Halen. I think it was like after. And actually, more importantly, this guy is also very well known for Benny and June with Johnny Depp. I was not aware of that for the longest time. Yeah. But yeah, this movie, I don't know, I love it. This is definitely in like my top 3 favorite Christmas movies, and there's just so many legendary actors and actresses in it. I mean, you have, of course, Chevy Chase. This is him before he morphed into a refrigerator that fucked an elephant and looks like the type of person that would molest you in the garage. And then you got the lovely Beverly D'Angelo.
Yeah.
The very hilarious Randy Quaid.
That's true.
And of course, honorable mention to actress Mae Questel, who's very iconic for the voice of Betty Boop.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, yeah. And this was her final on-screen appearance, and man, I gotta say, what a strong final on-screen appearance. And I guess her last appearance as Betty Boop was in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So I was pretty surprised to find out about this. So where does this sit in your rankings of like Christmas films?
I think it's funny because like I only saw this movie probably recently, so I didn't have that like growing up kind of like attachment to it.
Right,
so,
like the nostalgia.
Exactly. So I mean, Home Alone has always been my favorite, but I would say definitely top 5. Just because it's so more newer to me, but it's definitely something I like to revisit every year because it's so funny and there's so many funny scenes that always get me. I'm just excited to watch it. So, and then like I said, like you were saying, the actors and everything, it's a good classic movie. But yeah, I'd definitely say top 5 for sure. Like, it's just classic.
Yeah, I remember the first time I ever came in contact with this movie, I remember because my sister, she used to work at, there used to be a music place called Sam Goody where they sold like CDs and movies and stuff like that.
I remember that, and then malls and stuff.
And I just remember actually browsing through, and this is back way before even DVDs, so I just remember looking at the VHS, the cover, and just being intrigued by the cover.
Yeah,
I just thought it looked kind of, I don't know, I just thought there was something kind of like almost creepy and like scary about it.
Exactly, because this is pretty much the same one as that, yeah?
Yeah, it was the same one.
Yeah.
I just always thought, like, man.
No, it doesn't.
Like, what
it definitely appeals to you, yeah.
But it wasn't until years later. I think the first time I saw it, I was like junior high or high school.
So
but it's been like a regular Christmas movie that I've watched almost every year.
Right. I think it's funny because like I was talking to Steve about it. I was like, I wonder if I could watch this with my parents because there's so many funny things. But there's like a couple of like awkward sex scenes. I'm like, oh, my mom wouldn't like that. So it's definitely probably something we wouldn't have been introduced to anyways. Like
that's the thing, yeah. Like like my dad would just let me watch anything I wanted, but I was surprised that because this was a Christmas movie I would watch with both my parents back in the day, and that's what's kind of interesting about Christmas Vacation is that it like. I don't know, it's like a family movie, but it's also like kind of like a dark
It is, yeah. They kind of like
movie. I mean like the part where he goes into like and he's buying like lingerie for his wife.
Yeah, all the sexual innuendos and like
and then when he's like daydreaming about the pool and everything, it's that
she gets naked. Yeah. So I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah, is this PG-13? I think it's PG.
Yeah, I think it was PG-13.
But I mean, other than that, really, there's nothing. I mean, there's maybe a couple cuss words, but it's still overall, I think, a pretty good family fun film.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like I can definitely relate to it a lot more as an adult.
Yeah.
Like, I admire Clark Griswold's, like, vision that he has.
Yes.
You know, he actually wants his family to visit him, which I feel like, you know, most people, it's like, oh, I'm visiting my family, or I have family visiting, but you kind of want to, you know, blow your brains out down. But he, like, just has this whole vision. He wants a fun, old-fashioned family Christmas.
Everyone there.
But when it goes to this new category that I wanted to add to our reviews is flame-throwing outfit category.
I love that you said that.
And I would say the outfit that is flame-throwing the most. I mean, it's a toss-up with Eddie because Eddie's got a cool hat.
Well, that is so iconic in that scene.
Yeah, the hat.
If people like cosplay as that or do Halloween like that, it's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hat.
But I don't know, Clark Griswold, when he's putting up those lights, I mean, he's got the flannel, he's got the vest, he's got the, well, I don't really like the hat that much, but I just think he's crushing on all levels when it comes to that.
I think, like,
and I think it's funny how he keeps fucking up, too.
It's so true.
With the ladder coming back.
So true. I think it's funny because there's, like, little, like, you could just tell from, like, the times, like, the neighbors when they come back in their sweatsuits and they're all sweaty. It's just, like, that's so funny. But my favorite is D'Angelo's character, the mom, because of her, like, her dress when she was actually, like, on Christmas Eve with the white top with the pin and, like, the green dress and stuff, and her little heart sweater. It's just, like, I could totally wear something like that. Like, I could see that coming back again now.
You know, what's interesting about her character is that apparently the part towards the end where, like, you know, the cops busted and everything, like, she's grabbing Clark's, like,
that was
white
so
chum,
funny,
basically. Apparently that was improvised.
Oh my gosh,
and that was, she was like, I'm just going to do this on the first take, and they ended up using it, so it worked out.
And I just love how when she shook the boss's wife's hand, and she, like, put her hand back down on his crotch. I'm like, that's so funny.
Welcome to our home. What's left of it? Yeah, just putting in her hand right back.
So funny. But I mean, yeah, and then, like you were saying, like, just the flannel and all that kind of stuff is just so funny. And, like, the old Aunt Bethany. I always thought it was Aunt or Grandma Bethany, but with her little, like,
I think it's, like, great Aunt Bethany.
Yeah, something weird how it was. And then, like, her husband, like, his little toupee and the suit. It's like, that suit went through so much.
I think that's funny, too, when, like, Clark is, like, cleaning up a mess or something with his wife, and he's like, you're not doing anything constructive, go grab my stogie. You can just tell Clark's, like, one step away from, like
locking him
murdering
outside. I don't know how that guy didn't die. He got blown up a couple times and he was near the fire. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is like a cat, has 9 lives.
You know, one of the things I really love about this movie is actually that intro, the animated introduction with that Christmas song, which was actually... I'm not sure who wrote it, but I know Mavis Staples performed it.
Oh, okay.
And actually, what's interesting about the song is that Prince actually produced it. A lot of people don't know that. I didn't even find out about that until today, when I was watching an interview with the director.
Oh, wow. Because I was thinking, I was like, does it really have any good soundtrack or songs that are notable?
I mean, there's definitely just, you know, some of, like, the classics, like Here Comes Santa Claus, like the Gene Autry song. But some of those. But I think the opening track is the most iconic, and this is actually this is the only vacation movie that does not feature the song "Holiday Road," which
I didn't know that.
Which is made by Lindsey Buckingham of Fleetwood Mac, and that apparently they went to Lindsey Buckingham. They're like, "Can you do a theme song for this?" But he was like, "No, I don't want to be known as the guy that just does like the songs for vacation,
like the series and stuff." That's funny. Gosh, I probably regret that now because that movie still carries on.
Right, yeah.
It's funny, huh?
Where does this sit in your like category of like the vacation movies? Like, is this?
So, and I was actually talking about that. I was like, this is really the only one I've seen. I've seen parts and bits of the Vegas one, but
Vegas Vacation.
Yeah,
that one's good.
I haven't really seen. I don't think I've seen any of the other ones. And if I have, they were probably on TV. And I just saw parts of them, but and then so. Yeah, probably that's the only one. It's the only one I really revisit too. So.
You know what's actually like, I was surprised how good it is the Vacation reboot that came out in 2015 with like Ed Helms and Christina Applegate. That one's actually a lot really funnier than I thought. And
so funny.
You know, Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo make a cameo towards the end.
That's right.
And he, you know, as much as like a pile of shit that he looks like nowadays, I mean, he actually does a phenomenal job, and he's hilarious in it.
Because isn't everyone say like Chevy Chase was kind of like an asshole to work with? Like,
yeah, I remember reading this article a couple years ago where he was like driving like in upstate New York somewhere, and like he tried to like pick a fight with these like kids that were, I believe, like 19 and 20 somewhere in there, like, and he was like trying to run them off the road, or he was like some kind of like road rage fit.
Oh jeez, that's stupid. But yeah, like I mean, I don't, like you said, he was definitely more classic, I guess, or more known in the 90s versus now. Like he's
Right,
not
yeah,
really
I'd say
in
like
anything good
70s, you
now.
know, the SNL Illuminati thing. Or
Yeah.
I guess he was on SNL like mainly like late 70s, early
Okay.
80s.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then speaking of SNL, yeah, I just remembered that Julia Louis-Dreyfus was actually an
That's
SNL
right, that's
character
right,
as well.
okay.
And this is like right before she got cast in Seinfeld.
Wow. She's kind of, I don't think I would have recognized her. Now going back, like, obviously I know who she is, but yeah, it's just like, meh, just one of those side characters. It's so funny what happens to
Yeah, her
this couple.
character, you know, she doesn't really stand out that
No,
much.
it's not. It's just one of those, like, side note things that how something funny happens to the poor couple, and it's just a comedy relief. It's
I
so
love
dramatic.
Clark's interaction
Yeah.
with Margot and Todd. I guess that's their name.
Yeah.
And then apparently, like when they were doing that scene, you know, where he holds like the chainsaw, he was actually trying to imitate Leatherface and Jason Voorhees
That's
from like
awesome.
Texas
That makes
Chainsaw
sense.
Massacre.
That's
Friday the
awesome.
13th.
It's like, what a freaking psycho. Yeah, no, they don't like each other at all. But they're
Yeah.
prissy and they're stuck up and they don't try either. Like,
You know, it almost seems like secretly Margot might want to get with Clark. She's like, oh, look at this guy. He's wearing a flannel and a vest, and he's got a
more
chainsaw.
Yeah, he's more manly than my husband.
Todd, when have you cut down a Christmas tree?
Yeah, right?
I don't like you anymore.
That's so
I can't just attack someone. It's like, well, maybe
so
you should.
funny. Yeah,
attack
exactly. Maybe you should
something
go there, grab
else.
some balls, and go out there and make it known for your family and your neighborhood. That's so funny.
And do you have a favorite character in this movie?
I mean, Clark Griswold is always iconic. I think it's funny that I always forget her name now. The wife, what's her name in the movie?
Ellen?
Is it Ellen?
Or her real name?
Like, no, the character.
Character name Ellen?
Ellen, but she's just so, like, nonchalant, like, this is, like, shit happened.
I know,
like,
she is seriously,
just,
like, wife of the year.
she just puts up with it. She doesn't make really any drama. She's just so I like her character because I can kind of relate to it. You know, she's been through, like, years
Right.
and years of this, like, crazy family drama.
She's
probably.
definitely handles things a lot better than most.
It's true. I mean, yeah, that's probably my favorite. I mean, the kids were just kind of throwaway kids to me. Like, they weren't really anything
They were just kind
special
of
to me.
boring.
Yeah, they didn't have any special personality to me. And then,
Yeah.
of course, great Aunt Bethany, too, because she's just, like, senile, dementia.
You know what I love about her character is, like, she doesn't give a shit. She's
Yeah.
the same way with everyone that
it's
she comes
true.
in
That is
contact
true.
with. That she just doesn't care.
She just does her thing. She's sitting there knitting while everyone's freaking out around her.
funny squeaky sound.
It's so funny.
And it's like,
I love
and
that
her
part.
medication kicked in.
And in the end, when she starts singing the Star Spangled Banner, it's like, what the hell?
Or when it's like, will you say a prayer, Aunt Betsy? And it's like, I pledge allegiance. Yeah.
It's so cute. It's just funny. She's very likable. Those are my top ones. What about
It
you?
drives me insane when they're sitting there eating the dinner because they have no music playing. You would think
That's a good point.
they would
Yeah.
have some type of Christmas music
Yeah,
playing.
you're right.
Something.
There's really nothing going on. Oh man, it just makes me think, like, why didn't they just order pizza or something?
Yeah.
Fucking eating that dry
That's probably what I'm going to do for Christmas this year. I'm going to just order some chow mein.
Yeah, there we go.
Chow mein for life.
I kind of want to do that this year. But yeah, no, that's true. It's
But my favorite character, I would have to say, it's probably Eddie.
yeah.
I really like Eddie. He's
Eddie's-
funny. He's, you know, not only is he like a positive guy, he's just
Yeah.
a character. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. And apparently Randy Quaid actually based that character
Uh-huh.
off of someone that he knew when he grew up in Texas.
Yeah, I read something about that too. And it's funny because, like, if you kind of make a note of it, he actually was a military veteran. I don't know what branch, but he had that plate in his
Oh,
hand.
right. His
So it's like,
character.
does he really? Maybe he is kind of like dumbed down because of that, or I don't know. Maybe he really is an asshole, doesn't realize it. But it's just kind of funny. He is a funny character. Yeah, and he's great.
Yeah. Hey, like, I don't know. I always feel bad for Eddie because he's like always trying to, like, he's so nice to Clark
Yeah.
and so engaging and
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, it's true. He
so
definitely
willing
looks up
like-
to him.
Yeah, but like Clark's just always like, I think I'm better than you,
Yeah,
Eddie, for no
exactly.
reason.
I mean,
Even,
that's-
but like, if you think about it, they're kind of best friends.
Yeah. No, it's
Like,
true.
at the end of the
Exactly.
day.
In the end of the day, exactly. It's so funny, gosh.
I think his problem is he just needs to drink some of that Meisterbrow with him. Which actually, I guess that the beer that Eddie's drinking, that Meisterbrow, I guess they discontinued it like in 2016.
Really?
If I would have known that way earlier, like before that, I would have loved to have tried that.
Yeah, that would have
beer.
been great to try or keep.
But I think I
it
remember
open.
asking my dad back in the day, and he was like, "Oh, it's just some crappy."
I've
shit
never
beer,
even
you
heard
wouldn't
of
like
it. It's like our PBR now.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, probably. I think it was probably the equivalent to like
It's probably what
Milwaukee's
it
Best.
is. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, where was this movie even based out of? Was it because it wasn't? New
I know. I
York,
think it was supposed to
like
be in
Pennsylvania?
like Chicago, Illinois,
Chicago.
the suburbs
that
of
makes
Chicago.
Sense. That makes sense. Okay.
And yeah, I think since it was like written from John Hughes. I know John Hughes grew up
That's
in the Chicago
true.
area, so I think that's why like a lot of
makes
his
sense.
movies
area.
took place in that
the
area.
Suburbia kind of feel.
Yeah, and I guess originally Christopher Columbus was supposed to direct it,
wow.
but he just, even back then, or I guess Chevy Chase has just always been difficult to work with because he couldn't be in the same room for like more than a day with them.
Each other.
And
Dang,
then,
I mean, I don't know if it would have been.
but
any
then
different.
he showed the script to Home Alone to John Hughes, and he's
my
like, "Tell you
gosh.
what," he's like, "Why don't you just direct this movie and we'll see
Yeah.
what happens?"
Yeah.
And then, it's just crazy to think because apparently at the time when Christopher Columbus was offered the role to direct, he was, kind of like not an out-of-work director, but he wasn't very well known.
yeah.
And he didn't really have, like,
Right.
that kickstart yet, so...
Well, did this movie do good in theater?
Actually, yeah, no, it did. It did good,
yeah.
but Home Alone did a lot better
Okay.
once it came out a year later.
I could see that. And I read that this was like one of the only like Christmas movies that came out in what, 89?
Yeah, there was like
Along with
one more,
Prancer,
right?
And like the son was also in that movie too, the actor. But yeah, I was like, that's kind of interesting to think. But yeah, you were also talking too. There's lots of like little nuances to other films, but like when they're drinking the eggnog and it's like
Wally World. Yeah,
and
I like that part.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny because like there's a scene where he goes sledding and he goes into Walmart. I think they go back and like shop for Walmart. And that's what Eddie's loading up.
Oh yeah,
The
that's
groceries
right.
with like dog food. I'm like, this is like sponsored by Walmart. Like, it's kind of a weird
and I
thing
guess
to
apparently
say.
like the whole reason they did that is because of like you were saying, ties into like Wally World because a lot of people
that's
say
so
don't
funny.
shop, and I'm like, my dad says it all the
I
time.
say it too. I'm like, that's kind of funny that you kind of can connect those two.
And then apparently this was like at that time that was before Walmart turned into like a 24-hour like supercenter type thing.
Which even now you can't even find.
So I'm pretty sure that gave them a lot of like advertising and promo
that's probably
too.
true. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't probably around as much. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot about that sledding scene when I rewatched it and how he was like putting his like special silicone that he was gonna coat his cereal or something with.
Oh my gosh, the line that he says when he's about to do it, later dudes, let her rip, hang 10. It's like, doesn't get more sad dad jokes than
so
that.
funny. I was like, this is so like it's a scene almost that didn't need to be in there, but it's pretty iconic too. It's
Which
funny.
goes back to like flamethrowing. His jacket is flamethrowing. I mean, I'm surprised the snow didn't melt. His jacket was so cool.
So funny. That's awesome.
And I just like Eddie's response after he goes like flying down the mountain or whatever the hill, and he's just like, or just does something.
He says something
just like,
kind of
or
cliche.
bingo, or something like that. Yeah.
It's so funny. It's like, oh gosh. But yeah, the children, even like Eddie's children, are kind of like meh. Like you could tell like they're.
There's actually there's a tie-in to like Vegas Vacation because I know his son in the beginning, Rocky.
Oh.
Is when I showed this as Las Vegas, and apparently in one of the Rocky movies, from what I remember reading, they have like one of them has like a clip where they're watching Christmas Vacation. I've honestly never seen any of the Rocky movies, so I don't remember which. I believe it was like Rocky.
Yeah, I can see it tying into something like that. Well, then they tied in. Because right before all the family came, the son was watching it. So I think it's The Wonderful Life on the black and white.
Oh yeah, Russ was watching it.
In his bedroom.
And I guess that's why when he like has the chainsaw and he's like, "Oh, fix the newel post." I guess that's like going to.
Is that something?
Because George Bailey's like says something about like he needs to fix the newel post.
Okay, because I was like, what is? I never even heard of that term before. So
I've only seen It's a Wonderful Life once, which I did love it. But it was about 4 years ago when I finally saw it for the first time. So I've been meaning to rewatch.
It's a slower like classic too.
Yeah, it's good though. I can see why
it's a good message
cultural as it is.
Yeah.
But I've heard that apparently It's a Wonderful Life, like they kind of like ripped off a lot of ideas from Christmas Carol. Like I heard that on a podcast recently, Tuesdays with Stories. Shout out to Joe List and Mark Norman, and love you guys. You'll probably never watch this, but you never know.
That's funny. It is funny though, like how, I mean, there's classic like heartwarming like Christmas movies, but really the ones that stand out in my top ones are like always the comedy ones. Like you like to like.
Yeah, you have to have some element of comedy to appeal to the audience.
Exactly, that's kind of what I like the most. I think it's just because like shit goes bad, and like you try the best. Like he was so obsessed with Christmas, wanting to make it work, and it was such a struggle for him. And even now, I like literally just heard on the news today, like, oh look, Clark Griswold. Like it's still like a term that you say now, like so into Christmas.
Right, yeah, I guess apparently that's like a term they use, like, oh well, it's a Griswold house.
Exactly,
like it's like a decked out house. Yeah.
Or so many lights. Yeah.
I actually thought of him this year because like this was the first year of my adult life that I like really like went out and decided to really decorate for Christmas, get a tree and some lights and everything. Not really so much the like exterior, but the interior. Like my living room.
No, I feel the same way. Like it's been forever. Like getting a tree was just like a newer thing. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort to put everything up and do all that.
It is, but once everything's like set in stone, it's just nice to like
it is nice
have it and look at it. It just makes everything like more cozy.
It's more holiday and everything friendly. But I guess
Speaking of Christmas, though, so like, is there like a Christmas memory that stands out to you, like when you were growing up?
yeah.
Like maybe like a gift you got or something?
Well, I think like the biggest thing is because like Christmas, it seems like was the time we'd always go down to California and visit like my grandma.
Oh, really?
And my grandpa, and it was like a 10-hour drive, just a drive to go down there over the snow, the passes and stuff. But it was always so fun because like we always got really good gifts, and that's when we would watch like Nickelodeon and like those kind of like things because they
Like
had like
Rugrats
satellite.
or what
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
Nickelodeon, yeah.
Are You Afraid of the Dark and stuff?
Oh
so,
my
like,
gosh, that's such a
it's just so fun, like waking up and just like having that experience with more family because our immediate family is so small, but having like grandparents there is so much more special. So that meant a lot to me. Like
Nice.
now, like we don't have a lot of family that we could visit over the holidays, but yeah, I would say that's my most like favorite. And then like going up to the mountain and stuff, because I was talking to my friend recently, like how fun it would go snow tubing and stuff like that.
Right.
But like, gosh, like when I was going to church when I was younger, like we'd go up to like the mountain government pass or whatever and go snow tubing and stuff. It's just fun. For, like,
And then what part of California, was it Northern California that
kind
you
of,
were going
it was like, it was Vacaville, so it was like kind of north. I think it's northeast.
just
Sacramento.
northern. Oh, okay.
So kind of more north,
More northern?
mid, yeah.
Okay.
But they never would get snow out down there. But yeah, that was. What about you? What's your favorite memories or Christmas
couple of them,
fun?
Honestly, like I had a lot, like every Christmas as a kid was honestly like amazing, but like some of the ones that stand out for me, I remember it was Christmas, I believe it was Christmas '94, because I remember the house we were living at, there was like a view of Silverton,
Oh, that's
and I remember
so
it was
cool.
snowing. It was like one of the
That's so
few Christmases I
cool.
remember where it was snowing.
That is so awesome.
And I remember, this is going to sound lame, but at the time I was like 6 years old, so I remember I wanted the movie Free Willy so bad.
Aww.
And my sister, she worked at Sam Goody's, so like she got me a copy, and I remember just unwrapping it, and like just like I remember throwing the movie up in there and then just jumping there with excitement.
I love that. That excitement you don't get like anymore.
I know,
It's
yeah, it's just so
thing.
crazy.
Like believing in Santa and all that stuff, yeah. But that's so cute. I love that. That's cool.
But I remember, and then also Christmas of. I think of like all the Christmases that I got like game systems. Those were always fun because I remember like Christmas '95 we got like a Sega, and then like '97 it was a PS1.
That's so cool.
But I think when I got the PS2 I was a freshman in high school, so this was like Christmas 2002. I remember that standing out as a
that
fun
was
Christmas.
fun or whatever. I do hope we get some snow.
Yeah.
Nice snowing Christmas.
Yeah, actually, I guess Christmas about 4 years ago there was a lot of snow. I remember that was fun because my roommate at the time, I remember him and we ended up getting snowed in, and we both got the day off of work, so we ended up just eating a bunch of mushrooms, and that was like one of the best trips I've ever had in my life because we went for a nice walk out in the snow, and it's weird because like it was around Christmas time and it was snowing, and like it felt like it almost seemed like it was daylight out because I think the way like the snow like just like illuminates more lighting or gives off more light.
Right, when you were probably tripping, so you were probably.
Yeah, that was a very majestic night. That
That's
was
so
fun.
cool. That's awesome.
We drank about 1,000 Miller Lights, and the next
Holy
day we went out to
shit.
breakfast at Patty's Off Center.
Oh, nice.
I remember she was like, "What's wrong with you guys? You guys okay?" We're like, "Oh, we're just hungover." She's like,
Probably not gonna drink so much next time.
and it's like, and you're not getting a tip.
Oh, so we're giving you business for revisiting.
If you haven't seen Christmas Vacation, I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly recommend it more.
It's just a good classic movie.
Yeah. Happy holidays to all of you.
Yeah, Christmas, COVID.
Merry Xmas. COVID 420.
So ready for this to be done.
And from these words from Perry.
Go ahead. Hit the like and subscribe button.
You afraid? I think they're afraid to hit the like and subscribe button.